All right, everybody. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about how to use the Elevate system. Now, our website is not up and running quite yet. They're still making edits to it. But specifically, what our software is going to do for everyone is make filing taxes so much easier. You'll be able to find training videos and study as much as you'd like. You have resources and tools that allow you to understand who qualifies for what deductions, etc. Excuse me. You'll be able to have your clients sign up on a certain form, so you don't have to text them or email them information. You guys can completely just communicate with their documentation through the software. They'll just upload all their documents to the software. And then lastly, you guys will be able to have affiliates, and you'll send your affiliates through the platform, and they'll send their people to the platform. So the system is essentially going to help you e-file faster and easier because it'll be more organized. And I'm going to show you guys how the system works. And then I'm going to explain to you guys how the licenses work. So I'm pretty sure you guys have found out that whenever you try to log in, sometimes it'll say that you're not a licensed user. There's a reason for that. So we have up to 10 users right now, which means that 10 profiles right now. But not everyone can be logged in at the same time. So whenever you do this, you'll be able to go in and you can sign in. And if you're not a licensed user, you can go ahead and you can ask us to give you the license. And once you do that, we'll go ahead and give you the license. And you can prepare any return that you like. All right. So pretty much I was hoping that Steven was actually going to be available today, but he's in Florida right now and out of town. He's pretty much the expert on ITINs. I used to do a couple back in the day, but just not recently. It's kind of been my point of focus. So I guess I'll walk you guys through ITINs and ITIN renewals. If there's things that I can't really explain, I'll leave it to Steven to make a quick tutorial for you guys to go over. This video, you'll also be able to learn how to file extensions. So for those who file after the date of April the 12th or the 15th, whenever tax season is officially over, you can file extensions so that you won't get penalized for filing late. And the last thing I'm going to show you guys, which is going to carry on to tomorrow's training, is you're going to learn how to straighten up your image on social media. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how your profile or how you should present yourself publicly on it. All right. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So first and foremost, let me drag this to the bottom. First and foremost, we're going to go back to real estate. And if you guys are tired of listening to real estate or tired of me talking about it, then you're in the wrong group. Okay, this opportunity is most likely not for you, because that's what we're going to be talking about, like at least 30% of the time in tax season and almost 95% of the time after tax season. So what I want you guys to answer is this: which is the better investment? One unit right here, the house on the left, or the 50 units that you see on the right? All right, back to where we were. So yes, everybody is right. Pretty much the multifamily is going to be the better opportunity, okay? And it's going to be the better investment. So now, which one is the better investment? The one unit with $1 million per month in cash flow, or the $500,000 per month in cash flow? The question is, which one is now the better investment? The single family, which is now generating $1 million per month, or the multifamily that's generating less for $500,000 per month? Who else thinks it's the $1 million cash flow? Or who thinks it's the $500,000 cash flow? Mighty Fair says multifamily. No one else has answers? Okay, OGQQ7 says multiple. I don't know who that is. I'm assuming that's Octavia. I don't really know. I think it's Anna or Octavia, one of you guys. So you guys will be correct, or you women will be correct if that is Octavia or Anna. The women in this case is correct. The $500,000 cash flow property would be the better investment. Reason why is because there's less risk. Okay. For an example, you have one tenant here and he pays $1 million per month. And you have 50 tenants here that pay whatever they pay to equal 500K per month. Guess what? If this one tenant moves out of your house, you make $0 that following month. If one tenant moves out of the apartment building, you'll make just under 500K per month. Okay. This is why we're so focused on multifamily and not single family, because the risk here is much more minimalistic than the risk in the single family asset. Okay. Now, that could be different if this guy was staying in this home for 12 months and everyone stayed in here for 12 months, then this would be the, I guess, the better investment for that year. Okay. But long term, essentially what would end up happening is this tenant would end up moving out pretty soon. Okay. So that is essentially why I would say this investment is better than this investment. Now you can go deeper into that and break that down so many ways, but just in that scenario of just comparing risk to, you know, profit or value, that's just the way that I would see that. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and X out of this because we no longer need this. So next, what I want to go to is our software. So our software is called Elevate Online. All right, if it could pop up. Our guy is working on it, so I'm hoping that we can still access it.
You trying to exit out of the text box?
No, I'm just trying to move it to the side. I was trying to, you know, get this going, but it doesn't want to
Oh,
load.
if you click like just put your button on the green flashing thing.
There it goes.
Oh, okay.
All right. So go ahead and move this out the way. So pretty much, guys, this is going to look totally different once we finish it. So once a client comes to this right here, we're going to have a video here and it's going to explain to them briefly about our company, the value that we bring, and what to do next. All they're going to do is, this is not all going to be here. It's basically just going to be create an account. It's going to be put your username or your email and create a username or email. Maybe password, not really sure. Pretty sure the email is going to be, the password is going to be in the email and they create it there. But I don't really know how our guy is setting it up. But they're going to go ahead and they're going to create a quick account. Once they create the account, they're going to log in. And once they log in, they'll be met with a form. And that form is going to be the estimate form, or it's going to be two buttons, and it's going to say, I want to file my taxes or I want an estimate. Okay. And once they go into that form and they put in the information, we're going to get all that information on our end. And then once we get that information on our end, we'll be able to input that information into TaxWise. Okay. So let me go ahead and log into TaxWise. I'm gonna let TaxWise load up right now. So pretty much, guys, is you'll have clients that come to this platform and they'll just put in their information, create their account, and boom, you'll do a quick estimate, probably in less than 15 minutes. It'll take them no more than maybe 3 to 5 minutes to create an account and put in their information. You give them an estimate, they'll get, you know, a result of their estimate. You can either text them or we'll probably have a system where they could actually receive it. If they agree to it, what they'll do is they'll log back in, they'll upload all those documents that you actually need, you know, socials, birth certificates, etc. And then you'll go ahead, you'll receive those documents on your end because you'll have your own login on this platform. So if you see up here, it says owner and employee login. So that's essentially going to say probably maybe tax preparer login or something like that. You'll log in here, create an account, and you'll be able to see all of the clients that you've had throughout the year, and you'll be able to see the information that they put in through the data sheets that you collect. Okay. Not only that, we're going to have an affiliate link. So let's say you have 3 other people that you know that are clients of yours, but you want them to be affiliates. They'll be able to log in and they'll be able to refer people to a sheet. And once they fill in that information, you'll know that that client referred you other clients. Okay. So that's the way that we're setting that up, which is really awesome because This is all organized for you. You'll be able to have tasks that you need to complete in here that you can set, notes that you could type, and make sure that you're organized and you're in sync. Because you're going to get to a point in tax season where you have 5, 6, 7, maybe different clients coming in saying, yo, I want you to do my estimate. Excuse me. I want you to do my estimate, but I also need last year's tax return. And then they're asking all these questions. Now, what's really, really hard is receiving all of their information via email while at the same time, 5 or 6 other people are doing the same thing that they're doing, sending you all their documents through email and ask you a ton of questions. See, now you're going to be overwhelmed and you're going to be stressed out and you're not going to be able to provide the greatest service and definitely not the greatest customer service. So what we're essentially doing here is just making things much easier for you. And like we said before, we're going to help you not make the mistakes that we made. And a lot of you guys keep asking us, like, what are the mistakes that you made at the very beginning? And what should I be looking out for? What is it I should be worried about? And honestly, it all comes down to being organized. If you're everywhere, if you look into my folders are super duper organized. Um, so if you look at my download folders, I have everything in a folder, okay? You go to Genesis Renew, I have contracts, I have, the credit part, the taxes part. You go into taxes part, you have LLC, the marketing, everything, right? But what you want to do is you want to create the same folder I have, name it taxes, put paperwork. You want to have the year of wherever clients you have, and then you want to go ahead and create 2 folders. You want to create a document folder, which has their actual paperwork in there, and you want to have their ID folder, which has their identification paperwork in there. So this is going to be the result of your tax return. This is going to be the papers that they sign. This folder is going to be the papers that they give to you as far as our identification. All right. So I'm not going to go over that for too long. That's pretty straightforward and understandable. But yeah, with this here, you honestly don't have to make that folder because you'll have the information in your back office. But I always like to keep papers on file or easily accessible. Okay. So with that being said, if that client files with you, they'll send you all the information. And then once you go ahead and complete their tax return, you'll upload the documents via e-signature in this back office, and the client will just log in, sign all the papers electronically, and boom, you're done. And the only thing you have to do from there is just let them understand that you're not in charge of issuing tax returns. You're only the tax preparer. So if they want to check updates of their tax return, they have to download the app, which is IRS to go, I think, or they can go to irs.gov, where's my tax refund. All right. And from there, guys, it's just a waiting game, which is the hardest part. You wait, the client waits, and probably the hardest part of tax season is staying organized and managing clients, which I'm going to kind of teach you guys how to do in this video. So that's our system, which is Elevate. Again, let's say if you try to log into TaxWise, right, and it said something of the sort like you don't have the license, you wouldn't see none of this. Red words would just pop up and it would say you are not an authorized licensed user. That doesn't mean that your password is wrong. And I urge you to never ever try to put your password in 3 times, because if you mess up that 3rd time, we're going to have to reset your password for you through our end, and then you're going to have to reset the password for yourself on your end, which is a long process. And if you have a client in front of you, it'll be hell. What I would say is every single password that you have for any account that you have, make notes of it, put it in your notes, put it in your phone somewhere where it's easily accessible. All right. So with that being said, that's how we're going to operate. You let us know if you don't have the license, you try to log in and it says you don't have the license, shoot us a text message, either I or Lauren if you're on the Genesis Renew team, or shoot Steven a text message if you're on the Empire Tax team, and he'll give you the license right away. All right. So that's essentially the license sharing format. Now I want to teach you guys how to do a paper return. So if you are not already familiar, I'm going to use one of the, actually I'm not going to do If you're already familiar with the system, great. But if you're not familiar with the system because you have not been practicing, which a lot of you have not, you guys really, really, really need to get the ball rolling and start going into the system and practicing, because you're really going to hate yourself when you try to learn right when you get a tax client. So if you haven't done any simple clients in your own back office, I really urge you, like seriously, to just practice once or twice a week. That's really all that it takes. So this is how you do a paper return. You put in the basic information, and I'm not going to put in anything because this is pretty simple to do. A basic return is just a click of a few buttons. If you do a paper return, so you put in first name, last name, address, etc., right? As if you're doing a normal return. Now, notice these boxes over here once I click this button. Okay, it's that one. Oh, okay. Never mind. We don't have it set up like that yet. But once you go paper return, oh yeah, we do. Okay. So once you do paper return, all of those boxes that you just saw on this left-hand side, they disappear. All right. So why does that disappear? Because when we do paper returns, we charge up front, which means that if someone does a paper return with you, like you're not e-filing it, you're sending it through the mail to the IRS, we cannot take money out of their tax return. Once the paper return gets to the IRS and they issue the refund is then going to go to the address that you have on file. And the address that you have on file is going to be your client's file. So that means they're going to get the tax return. All right. So if they get their tax return without you getting paid, it's really up to them if they want to pay you or not. And that's why we charge up front. So we won't just be doing free tax returns for paper returns and ITIN returns, etc. E-file returns will always be done electronically. And that means that, of course, we'll be able to use our own banking system to withdraw the tax preparation fee amount from their tax return with our own bank. Okay. So that is why those bank forms are really important, and that you have to make sure that you put your charge on the price page, which is this amount right here. And you can change this charge however low or however high you'd like. But do know that $250 goes to the office no matter what. So if you charge someone $300, $250 goes to the office unless you let us know first and we look over the return. And if that person isn't getting a big tax refund, then of course we'll be more lenient on the prices. But if it's a normal return where someone's getting a couple $1,000s in a tax refund, it's pretty obvious. Just do the standard amount of 500. Okay. So with that being said, that's how you do a paper return. You're literally just going to put in all the basic information as usual, and you're going to scroll down on the main info page, this page right here. You're going to scroll down, and you're going to go to paper return, just like that. And you'll see those turn gray, and the other forms are removed. And what you'll do is you'll come up here, and once you're done, you'll hit diagnostics. No matter what, when you're done with every single return, you hit diagnostics, and then once you finish all of these, you see this red stuff, it's letting me know what needs to be completed in the return. And obviously this is not a completed return, but it'll be a button down here that says run diagnostic, and it'll tell you if anything is wrong with the return. This is why I say that don't be scared to do a tax return. It's almost impossible to mess up on a tax return because the diagnostic will tell you. It'll tell you, it'll diagnose it, and it'll say, hey, U.S. street address so and so. You must fill it in. Or this person's social does not match with the social that's on this document. So just know that once you run diagnosis, once you have everything greened out on the left-hand side, then in return, you can go ahead and let us know that this tax return is completed. If you do not hit the diagnose button, once you complete the tax return, then once we go in and we try to send the return out, it'll reject it because something needs to be done on this tax return. So that's really important. Take notes on that because that's probably the most important thing to do is once you have everything greened out, and it doesn't matter. Sometimes everything will be greened out, guys, and it'll still be something missing over here. Okay. So always hit the diagnostic button, and at the bottom right corner or something like that, it'll say run diagnosis. You'll click that button, and then it'll say this return is clear or ready to go or whatever it says. So once you do that on a paper return, you'll hit print return. And then once you hit print return, you'll print out every single paper. Select all, and you'll print every paper. Of course, I'm not going to do that now, but on a paper return, you print out everything. When we e-file, you only print out about 5 or 6 pages over here, maybe 7. But just remember, on any paper return, you're going to fill out everything. So next, we're going to talk about amendments. Amendments it can be tough because the return that you're amending on has to be exactly the same as the return of the previous year, like to the T. So every digit has to be the same as the digit of the year before. Now, if you don't know what an amendment is yet, an amendment is a correction return. So for an example, let's say on one of your tax returns, you were head of household, but the tax preparer that filed your taxes filed you, married, filing single or separately. And of course, you get a lower deduction. But if you were head of household, you would get a higher deduction, which means you'll get a higher tax return or tax refund. So, for an example, if if you are trying to do an amendment, you would print out that previous year's tax return, or it can be the same year, but let's just go off of the previous year, let's say of 2018. You would print out that tax return, and you would get that full copy of that client's tax return, and you would put in all the information that matches the other tax return in here. And basically what you'd be doing is creating a duplicate return of what's on the other tax return. And it's kind of a headache, which is kind of why I charge a lot more for amendments. Usually I'll charge anywhere from $200 to $300 on a paper return, unless I'm getting them a crazy amount of money back. For amendments, I will charge anywhere from $400 to $700. Okay. So what you do in that situation with the 1040X or the 1040 amendment is you would come over here and you would say 1040X, okay? And it says amended individual income tax page 1. Hit plus. All right, once you do that, this form here is just going to let the IRS know that this is the original amount, this is the correct amount. You're correcting your return, okay? And you're going to scroll down and put in the basic information on page 2. I guess they changed it. So go to page 2, and it's going to ask you questions. The main thing you really want to make sure you explain is why you are changing this form, okay? You have to let them know why you're changing this form. So if you're filing for head of household, you need to let the IRS know and say something simple like this: I'm changing the filing status of my 2018 year return. The status will change from single or whatever it was to head of household. So, excuse me. So if you're claiming head of household, then guess what you have to do now? You have to send them supporting documents. So if you're claiming head of household, you want to be able to provide them with the dependent information. It's best, especially when you're doing paper returns, because these are done, of course, in personal. There'll be someone whose eyes are actually looking at it and not a machine, and they'll be actually looking at the paper return, seeing if it makes sense. So if the client is trying to get the head of household status, he needs to go ahead and provide at least 2 forms of documents that proves that this dependent can be claimed by him, and this dependent is a citizen. So the social, number 1, is always the best thing to have, and these are copies, okay? These do not have to be the hard, the real originals. These can be copies. So you get them a copy of the social, and that's an image, of course, not the social number, the image of the social security card. and then you get a copy of the not the state ID, the birth certificate. You can do a birth certificate. You can do a shot record. You can do name on the rent. There's so many things that you can do, especially with the birth certificate and the social. That's most of the time, that's all that you'll need. Okay. So with that being said, just be careful with this, because sometimes what will end up happening is the mother will claim a child and she'll claim a head of household, and the father would claim single for the previous year. And what the father would do, or even for the same year, what the father would do sometimes is he'll go back and file an amendment and try to claim the child. Okay. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you ask the right question. Did the child live with you for 6 months or more throughout the year? If he says no, then kindly tell him that you cannot process the tax return. Because if you do process the tax return and the dependent has been claimed by someone else that actually has proof that the dependent was living with them for more than 6 months out of the year, then that client that you're doing is going to either get a letter in the mail, they're probably going to get audited, and maybe even our own tax office will get audited. So you want to make sure that you're doing your due diligence when it comes to dependents, because the IRS is extremely strict with that. And honestly, from my experience in the tax game, guys, the IRS does not really come after people who are qualifying themselves for deductions that they don't really qualify for, and sometimes even credits unless it's schooling. Um, but when it comes to dependents, like, it's like a 90% chance that someone's going to get audited and get penalized if they're doing something fraudulent, because that's all the IRS cares about is fraudulent activity. Someone's identification being stolen, or someone claiming kids that are not theirs. All right. So that is how you do an amendment. You go ahead, you add the 1040X form, you put the reason why you're changing this amendment. Of course, you put the date down there, and and you click this if the numbers are different. Okay, but it'll populate itself, of course, if the numbers are different based on the information you put into the system. So the numbers are same right here and here, so the box on the second page will not populate itself. But that's it, guys. That's how you file an amendment, and you can charge $500-$700 for this, or even less. Sometimes I'll charge less, but you can charge whatever you want on these type of returns, guys. And yes, paper returns, you still have to split the fee with the office. But the greatest thing is the client is not going to be charged the bank fees. They're not going to be charged the e-file fees, etc. It'll just be the flat rate the flat tax preparation rate. Okay. So that's how you do an amended return. ITIN and ITIN renewal. Okay. I'm going to do my best to go back to my most excellent memory on how to actually do ITINs. So when you're filing for an ITIN return, and this is an application, so you're applying for an ITIN, right? You want to click this box. Okay, so you want to click this box, and you want to go to tax forms. Anytime someone applies for an ITIN, it has to be a paper return. You cannot e-file an ITIN application. You can e-file an ITIN with an ITIN renewal, but you cannot e-file if someone doesn't have their ITIN already. Put it that way, just to make it simple. So if you're going ahead and you're filing for an ITIN, remember, boom, you're going to put in this information. You're going to put in, you're going to leave this blank, I believe. And then you upload the form W7. Scroll it down if it pops up. Let's try it again. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so this is what an application form will look like, guys. It'll look just like this. And this form can be tricky as hell, but we'll get to that soon. So remember, when people do ITIN applications and they're applying for an ITIN, there's a fee, and almost every single tax office charges a fee. Now, we don't charge a fee if they file taxes with us, okay? So it's free if they file taxes with us, but they have to pay up front if they're not filing. If they're just getting their ITIN numbers for them or their spouses or their dependents, then we charge up front. And the fees can be from $50 as for the dependent and $75 or $80 for the adult. I think last year we did 40 and 80, if I can remember right. But Stephen, like I said, he's pretty much the master at this, and he explains this way better than I can. But if you have someone who's applying for an ITIN and it's an adult and it's the taxpayer, you can put taxpayer. You put apply for new ITIN because they've never had an ITIN before. They're applying for it. And you want to put, let's see, where are you? There it is. So you want to put U.S. resident alien. What this means is that they are residents in the U.S., which means they live here, but they do not have citizenship, okay? So, based on days, president, your funds. Yeah, so this is the correct box. You click C for the taxpayer if he's the resident alien, someone who's worked here and filing taxes here, okay? If it was for his dependent, you would put the one below. And if it was for someone who's a spouse that is married to someone with citizenship, you put this information E. Okay, but for now, let's keep it simple and stick to C, U.S. resident alien, which is a really dumb word, but based on days present in the U.S. filing U.S. tax return. That's what we're going to go with. Name, you want to put in their name now. This is very important. You need their passport, guys. You have to have their passport. The information that's on the passport is the information you put right here. Not what's on their W-2, not what's on, if they have a matricula, which is pretty much a government form of ID for Mexico. You don't want to put that information. You want to put what's on the passport. So let's just say if we put in, I'm just going to still stick with my original. Oh, okay, yeah, that's why we do it for the main form. So on the main form, you want to just put in John Doe, leave this blank, and home address, 177 Brown Street or something like that. All right, come back to the W-7. You'll see his name is right there, his address is right there. You'll put in his date of birth. Remember, this information is going to be on the information that he provides. You're going to have his birth certificate. You're going to have his passport, and you want to go off of that information. So let's just say, again, we have to go to the main info sheet. Sorry about that. And that's my birthday for you guys who like to give gifts. And let's say that we're going to do his dependent as well. So we'll put him at a household. Okay. Okay. So we'll go back to the W-7. Remember, this is just an application form, guys. Just an application form. So he's a male. And if it's Mexico, you just put Mexico. Countries of citizenship, same thing, Mexico. Passport, that's what the information we're going to go off of. And let's just say that the date is 1/1. I forgot how this actually works on this part. So 1,000. I can't remember how it works. I think it's, I'd have to ask Steven how the format works on this. Like I literally did one ITIN last year. So I'll have to ask him how this part works. But you put a certain date, whatever is on the passport, you put that information here, but we'll just leave that one like that. The number that's on the passport, you'll be able to read the identification number that's on it. And for you guys who've never seen the passport, you can kind of just Google the passport to kind of just copy what's on there. The number, there's going to be a number. Let's just say it's that big. Then there's expiration date. You put the expiration. Now this is the part that's tricky, and it actually got me last year. So right here where it says expiration date, um, on the passport, especially I think in Mexico, the days of the month is in the middle of the date. So I think it'll look something like this. So it'll be like the 12th month, the 12th day of the 12th month of 2009. And it looks something like that. So you just really have to do your due diligence. And I'm going to let Steven make a video so you guys can go over this and kind of understand it better, because I know I'm kind of explaining it a little bit more crappier than I should be. But this is just it's easy data entry. That's really all you're doing. You have a passport, you just pretty much connect all the information. And have you previously received an I-10? So if they have not, you want to put no. If they have, if you hit yes, then this is going to populate, and you have to put in their previous I-10 number. So they have to have their old I-10 number with them. Okay. And they have to have the information too. So it'll be like the first, middle, and last name, and you have to put the then first, middle, and last name exactly as it was on the copy of the document that the IRS sends to them for their previous I-10. Okay. So that being said, once you finish filling this out, you'll go ahead and you can create another one. But I'm not going to go ahead and go through the whole thing, but I'll just show you how to start it. So we're going to create another one because remember, it's him and his dependent. So once that populates, we'll start on that. But I'm going to check the chat just in case you guys had some questions. Okay, hopefully I get better connection now. All right, that's where we were. So this is going to be the application for the dependent. Now make sure you put dependent. That's for who this W-7 is for. I'm going to put apply. I'm going to put dependent of a U.S. citizen or resident alien. Son. There we go. And then you put in all the basic information that I just showed you guys. Simple. So data entry, guys, that's it. Once you finish this, you'll print out the W-7. You'll hit individually, actually. So to print out forms on the left-hand side, singly, like individually, you hit this print button, come down to W-7, boom. It'll take probably about 10 to 15 seconds. So be patient. Okay, maybe a little bit longer than 10 to 15 seconds. There it goes. So what you'll do is you'll open the PDF. And let's say if you had a printer connected to your laptop or your computer at the time, you'll go ahead and you'll hit the print icon. I'm not sure why this is taking forever, probably because I'm on a webinar, but you'll hit the print icon up here. And if you want to just save it in a folder to print later, you'll just hit the download button right here. Okay, simple as that. So you'll print out both of your W-7s, and the W-7s will go on top of the paper return at the very top. And then once you finish doing the actual tax return, like any other regular paper return, guys, you'll put in all the information. The only thing that'll be missing is the social security number. But you'll put in all the information just like you would any other return, and then you'll come out. And remember, it's a paper return because this is an I-10. So you want to hit print return, and the same thing as the last thing, you'll hit save or print down here. You print everything out, select all whenever you print paper returns, and then you'll mail this out, and we'll have the addresses for you guys, or the software on Elevate right here will have tools and resources in the tab that have address to every place that you send paper returns to. All right. So that's how you do an I-10 application. Now, this is going to be much shorter. To do an I-10 renewal is actually much easier because You'll have the ITIN number and everything that you need. So, or I could have just went back to old ITINs, but whatever. So this one is just going to be not clicking on this one and just boom, click on this one. You hit taxpayer, and then you'll fill in the same information as if you did on the application. Okay, but the thing is with this one, you do not send out a paper return. Okay, what you'll do is you'll just send out this sheet of paper right here, and you'll mail it to the IRS, and within 4 to 6 weeks or whatnot, you'll get an ITIN number back, and then you'll take that ITIN number and you'll bring it back to the system, and you'll put in their information, and then you'll e-file it. So you can e-file your ITIN renewals, all right? So that is essentially how you do an ITIN renewal. And I'm gonna repeat that one more time. With your ITIN renewals, you do not send out the return with it in a paper return format. You just send out the sheet with the documents that the IRS requires. And that's going to be at least I think it's 2 or 3 forms of identification. But once Steven makes a video of it, you guys understand it better. But you send out those documents, they'll send the clients their documents to their mailing address, and you'll send out their tax return once they give you their ITIN number, and you'll send out their tax return via e-filing. Okay, so you can send this electronically, not this, but the actual return electronically once the client receives their ITIN number, and you'll put that ITIN number in here. Okay, simple as that. Next, extensions. So extensions are pretty simple. If you want to file an extension, let's just say John Doe is filing late. Excuse me. You'll fill out this as like any other normal return, and people usually they get, like, I guess you can say, taxed or penalized, whenever people do not file on time. What you'll do is you'll come over here and you'll put in the form. Why do I feel like I'm forgetting the phone number? I think it's, wow. Like I said, I forget taxes every single year, and it's normal. I think it's 4868. Yeah, there we go. So you'll print out the 4868. Not print out. You'll open the form. You want to check here, verifies that the form is being in use, and all that's going to happen is all this information you put on the tax return is going to populate. Remember, anything with the green onion underlined is going to populate. And I think right here will be the only boxes you'll check, or the only information you put in. And boom, there goes your extension. So you'll file this. Once we do this, we'll e-file it with this extension, and then the IRS will receive it, and they won't get penalized for any late fees or whatever. All right, that is how you file an extension. Simple, just like that. How to straighten up your image on social media. So this is, and I haven't even done this myself yet because I post crazy stuff all throughout the year. But since tax season is now here, I need to go ahead and clean up my profile as well. So you don't have to be boring, guys. You don't have to be anything that you're not. You just need to ask the question, and it's probably the most important question is, will you do business with you? Would you let yourself do your own taxes? That's kind of a tongue twister. Would you allow yourself to be your own tax preparer? That's the question you need to ask. So if you're looking at your Facebook and you're going, man, like, if you go through my things, most people pretty much go straight to photos, and they'll see that I'm pretty consistent on I'm really consistent on having a bunch of people around me and having business and empowerment, because that's my character. I'm all about empowerment and production. So you'll see just consistently, if you go through my profile, that's not my baby picture, I promise. If you go through my profile, you'll just see me always interacting with other people, right? Or I'm doing some type of business meeting or somewhat. Okay, picture yourself going through your profile and imagine what someone else would think once they're scrolling down your timeline. And if they go, oh, this person is professional, or this person likes this, I like that, or this person is smoking weed and talking about putting other people down all the time, what type of character are you displaying publicly is the question that's really at hand. So all this stuff, it's like, this is my character. I'm always about positivity. I'm a very high vibe person, and I'm always putting up quotes and stuff like that. And sometimes essentially I'll put something like this. Something I may or may not erase this, but it's just something that people take heed of, is noticing that you have some type of humor. So like I said, Lauren does it. She does a great job of being a meme master, just posting memes, and her audience loves that. Salvador actually has 3 or 4 clients already, just throughout his network, and people love what he posts on Facebook, etc. So that's the first thing. Get your profile right. Very, very important. Next thing you want to do after you've gone through your photos and you've deleted whatever is, inappropriate, I want you to go look at your post. So this girl just commented on my post, right? Hopefully she's asking for an estimate. Okay, she supported me. Great. So she shared my post. I think it's someone I went to school with, I believe. So I appreciated that. I hit the love button and I said appreciate the support. Remember this always. I can't even express how important this is, guys. Man, like I know it's corny. I know it's really corny, but you have to like your own post, okay? So the way that you manipulate the algorithm on Facebook is this. You need interactions on your post. There's little algorithms that happen on Facebook that lets Facebook know what is valuable on your profile. So every time you post something and people scroll over and they click on these little photos and they're just clicking, there's an algorithm that tells Facebook that what you're presenting to the audience that you have is valuable. So, for example, if I were to post one photo here, I would get less engagement with my audience. But because I post multiple, guess what? People will click on this, they'll click on this, and they'll just keep clicking and clicking and clicking. What that tells Facebook is that you are valuable. What your content is what you're providing as content is valuable because people are interacting on the things that you're posting. Okay. So what you want to do is I would find some type of way to post tons of content in one post. You want to maximize the usage of every type of feature that Facebook allows you to do. And this goes for Instagram as well. So, for example, when you're doing a post, you can tag friends. Look at my post, guys. This is why I'm going to get like a ton. When I tell you a ton of people liking and sharing this. I have 3 shares, 18 comments, 25. By no means whatsoever am I popular on Facebook. By no means. Look at my previous posts. 4 others. It's probably all of you guys. Look, no likes. 6 likes, 7 likes. Look, I'm not doing anything extra. Okay? I'm not doing anything extra but this. I'm tagging almost 100 people into my post. And what's happening is this. Not only are all of my friends seeing my post, but all of their friends are seeing my post as well. Okay? And not only did I put these photos and some text, I put this feature. You see this congrats? This is a big, big bonus to every post that you post. Reason being is because this is a feature that Facebook added, and this is going to pop up next year around the same time, guys. It's going to remind you, like, remember that you celebrated this right here, this post last year on January 22nd. And so this right here is going to stay on Facebook forever. Next thing I did was I added an emoji, and it always asks you, what are you feeling? You want to maximize all of this, guys, because this helps Facebook determine who they're going to show your post to and how many people, okay? What you guys have to understand is that this is no longer a social media platform. Facebook is an internet book. And this is scary, but I'm going to say it. 10 years from now, when you have to, children who are free on social media, and if Facebook is still around, guess what they get to do? They get to go back 10 years ago when their mom or their dad was out partying and drinking, and they get to see when you accomplished things and graduated, and they get to see when you had family events and whatnot. They get to see your whole entire life because you shared it on this Facebook platform. Once you understand that this right here is what connects you to other people in that manner, because this tells, I can go through most people's Facebook and tell what kind of person they are. When people get hired from jobs, a lot of jobs will find them on the internet and see the type of things they post on Facebook. You can tell a lot about someone's character just by going through their Facebook, okay? So just understand that this is how you market just to your Facebook audience, okay? You don't have to do anything spectacular. When I posted this, I'm not looking to get an estimate, guys. I'm really not. I may have had a call to action and said, hey, if you want to file, blah, 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 book here, but that's not the point of this. I can guarantee you a lot of you have already made posts and you went, man, I didn't get any estimates. This is going to be hard. Yeah, it's going to be hard, but that's not the point. The point is not to post one thing and get 20, 30 different clients. That's not how this works. Every single one of you who are in the group, you know my work and you know how consistent I've been over the term of probably 5 years on Facebook, posting and being consistent about what I do. Most of you in the group, I've done your taxes, okay? How long did it take you to see me being consistent for you to give me a chance to be your personal tax preparer? And of course, you've never regretted it, but I did my job for you, but it took me years to get your attention. On the other hand, other people, it was very quick. A lot of people were like, man, you do taxes, I want to get a quote. So in the meantime, while you were sitting watching, I had 3, 4, 5 other people within one whole hour or maybe one whole day text me for an estimate. The same way that you have to think about this is you, like I said before, guys, a story I told you guys before, if you treat this opportunity like a $2 opportunity, it's going to pay you $2, okay? Treat this opportunity like a $200,000 opportunity, and it'll pay you as such. But you have to be consistent in what you do. If you go and you post one Facebook post about taxes, no one's going to care. People are going to forget about you when they go to H&R Block next week because you had one post. But if someone goes and, they get on Facebook every day and you're being consistent about what you say and what you do, guess what? Every single time they think about taxes, guess whose name is going to pop up? Yours. So you just want to be in people's mind. You don't have to spam your Facebook about taxes, but just make sure, like Lauren said, you're posting 1 to 3 things per day, letting people know that you're here, okay? Because you have to make sure that you're on people's mind at all times. So it's very, very important to make sure that you look presentable and that you're very consistent with your delivery, okay? Don't think that you're going to post one time and get 10 clients. It does not work that way. It used to. When I first built my clientele on Facebook back in 2015, it was extremely easy because a lot of spam wasn't going around and I could easily just go ahead and inbox a ton of people and a lot of those people would say yes, okay? Another thing, so I have this platform and I have this bot, okay? And a bot is essentially a tool or a software that you can use on the internet, and it does a certain type of mechanic. The type of mechanic that my bot does is it messages like hundreds of people at one time. Now that's dangerous now because Facebook can throw you in Facebook jail now, but there's a certain number that you stay under. If you message 30 people under an hour or more than 30 people under an hour, then you'll go Facebook jail. But if you message 28 people under an hour, then you can reach as many people as you can and still market your business. I have a software that's separate, but it only works on PCs. If you have a Mac like I do, you can download this Chrome extension called Toolkit for Facebook. Now this damn thing is awesome. Look at what it does for you. So I haven't been on here in like a year, so hopefully I still have everything. So let's just say you're a girl, because a lot of girls, you guys have a ton of friend requests that you have to approve, right? You can literally just come over here Click all confirm for friend request buttons. You can start that tool. It'll confirm every single friend request that you have, right? There's another one, click all cancel for pending friend requests. So that's like if you don't want to, add friends. Now these are minimal, like they're not very relevant to how you want to be productive, right? But watch this. So they have click all approve, they have click decline, they have click all join, they have click invite member buttons. That's probably for group pages and stuff. But watch this. So you can download Facebook videos. So if you see something you like, you can download it, hit that tool button. You can follow all of your liked pages. You can unfollow all of your liked pages. Okay. You can leave all the groups that you've ever joined. You can unfollow all the groups you've ever joined. Now it gets even better. So keep watching. So you can post on all of the groups that you've ever joined with just one button. You can invite a friend to join all the groups that you've joined, which I don't really know how that's useful. But it gets even better. Look at this. You can message all of your friends. So we're going to click on this. I'm going to show you guys how this works. So if you look at this first part, it says select the time interval between requests. Now this has changed a lot. There was a lot more options you could use. It's going super duper slow. So this is how Facebook networking works, guys. Essentially, like, I know I say that word a lot, but like, it's very important that you understand, like, if you're spamming on social media, nobody respects you. No one. Okay. If you ask on social media and provide value, everybody respects you. Okay. So you have to come up with some type of technique. And this is why it takes forever, guys, because it takes all of your friends on your Facebook page. And imagine if you hit select all, which I'm not going to do. I've done it before many times and it slows, like it's very, very slow because it has to check every single box. Okay. It has to check every single box. And why it checks every single box is because once you come up here and you type in hi, it's lagging. Hi, how are you? Boom, just like that. And you have to make sure that you just go to at least, man, I would say 5-10 minutes. If you do 5-10 minutes of messages, so that'll be one message every 5 to 10 minutes, which means that you'll 5 divided by 60. So you'll be able to send 12 messages maximum under an hour. Okay. So I would say every 3 to 4 minutes is okay. Okay. Every 3 to 4 minutes, you can send this message to every single one of your friends. And I know, guys, this is a headache. This was the grind that I had back in the day, an evil grind. It was very, very, very hard because I've probably spoken to more people than anyone's ever spoken to in life just on, social media. So once you hit select all, you hit submit, what's going to happen is it's going to send this message to every single friend that you have based on the time that you have it. So this toolkit can be going on for weeks, maybe months, depending on the time frame that you have. But that's okay. What you're doing is you're just utilizing the network that you have and you're communicating with them. But imagine if you did a spam and you was like, hi, how are you? Sign up for my program, blah, 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 blah. I'm your client, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's what it looks like to them. And people just ignore that. Okay. So download this tool. You can go to Chrome extensions. If you don't have Chrome on any type of platform, you need to. So go to Chrome extensions. So if you use Internet Explorer and you use Safari, I kind of feel a little bad for you because Chrome is much faster and it's better. Go to Chrome extensions and it's TFF, I think I can type. Yeah, so just put in Facebook tool kit.
Where are you? So, weird. Okay. I will definitely find this for you guys and send you the link. If not, yeah, there's a ton of extensions. But I'll find this for you and send you the link. I'm pretty sure it's in here somewhere. It's probably a certain keyword I have to type in. Yeah, I'll find that for you guys so you guys could use it. But that's probably all that you need to know about. Okay, so the last thing. So whenever you are doing your post, right, and you're posting something, you want to just annoy your like forget your friends. Like if they're not supporting you, like, and they're mad at you because you keep tagging them in posts, like just forget about it. Like don't even care how they feel. Tag them in the post. If they don't support you, it's literally on them. You're on your grind. So just tag them in the post. And what you'll do, guys, and that's why I have two Facebook tabs open. So now I know that I stopped right here. What I'm going to do in the next probably 2 hours is I'm going to delete every single friend that I tagged, and I'm going to tag another 100. What this does is it helps more people see your post. And how do I know this? Because of this. So if you go to my photos, and I'm not going to play this whole video because it's somewhat embarrassing, and at the same time, it's probably going to be a waste of time. But if you go to my videos, posted a lot of videos. Okay, I can find it. There it is. So this video that I have right here that I posted, this was probably in 2016, I believe. Let me see, 4 years ago. So yeah, that's about right. So on this video, it says
Hey world, how's it going?
But that's definitely not true. I think this one got 3,000 views. I got almost 300 comments, almost 500 shares, and 300 likes. Okay, this is just one of the videos. So if I go back, I go to this one. Okay, so yeah, the other one was the one that got 10,000 views. This one got, I don't know why the views are lower. That's weird. Okay, this is the lower one. So I posted multiple of them. It was 3. I think I deleted one because I was too embarrassed. But you guys can go back and check it out. And all I did, guys, if you look at the post, and it's weird because it's so long ago. I don't think it'll let me view the whole post. But there was like 100 people. Let me see. It's right there. Won't let me click it. But yeah, you'll be able to see there's tons of people that are actually in this, and there might even be some people in the comments saying, please untag me. But yeah, so a lot of people were pretty much commenting on the post. These are late comments, but the earlier comments were pretty much like, there was a call to action, and it was like, hey, click this video, share this video, like this video, etc., and we'll give you a link. So as you can see, it says 10,000 views now. So I got 10,000 views in this video. And the only way that this is possible, and it still works today, is you tag all of your friends over and over and over, because their friends will see your post and their friends' friends will see your post. And then you'll get more engagement on your post, okay? So that is how, if you guys are really, really like, if you suck at networking like I did when I first started, like if you really are bad, honestly, and you can only make it on social media, this is the way that you blow up, not blow up, but this is the way that you start getting your first couple of clients on Facebook, okay? Once we get more into tax season, I will teach you guys how to actually start branding yourself, how to grow an audience, and actually how to get committed and loyal customers that will always, always listen to you and go down the route and, go to bat for you because they believe in your craft and see your value. All right. So that's really it. I don't want to make this too long because it's been long already. So if you guys have any questions, feel free, like shoot me as many questions as you have. I just want you guys to understand that like the paper returns are like the easiest and the most efficient, or probably the fastest form of tax filing, as far as like getting things done fast, I guess you could say. Not the process of getting a tax refund fast, but paper returns are really simple to do and can be done extremely fast, put it that way. Um, it's just, it takes a longer time for it to process, and that process can be anywhere between 6 to 10 weeks with the IRS. All right. So if you guys understand now, we have our Elevate system. You're going to learn more about it in another training once we have all up. If you guys understand the licensing, you guys understand how to do paper returns. If you don't, please tell me, and I'll just make a whole nother video, try to make it as short as possible so that you guys can get this info. How to file ITIN, ITIN renewals, extensions, and how to straighten up your social media. The last one is probably going to be the most important for a lot of you guys, because a lot of us never expect to use social media for our excuse me, social media for our point of business. If you do not want to use your personal page, which I totally recommend that you do, you can always go ahead over here to pages on Facebook, and you can create you a page and create your own business page. But you'll have to literally grow this page from the ground up, which is not going to be a problem once I show you guys how to brand yourself. All right. So my homework for you is, I want you to do 3 simple clients. Just do 3 clients as an estimate in your back office. Some of you guys already have clients lined up and they're just waiting on your W-2s, but do not wait on clients. Get more, always get more, because more times than not, people will disappoint you. You will always think someone's going to file with you, but they'll end up going, oh, I filed somewhere else, I forgot about it, or something like that. So don't wait, take action, get your clients, get more clients, get your image right. Once you get your image right, you can then get more clients. So it's just all about getting your image right, making sure that you know your stuff, which you can only do by doing simple clients or estimates inside of the software. And then once you do that, we'll have everything up and running for you guys. Hopefully by next week, we have everyone have a login, and everyone will have a access to the Elevate software, where you'll be able to train and do everything else. Okay. So with that being said, that's all that I have for you guys tonight. Tonight was really important because you guys really have to understand this part. Learning this, all this stuff I'm teaching you guys, learning this during tax season, if you're really about your money and you're really grinding and hustling, is almost impossible, because you're going to be doing so many things that you can't sit and learn and watch training videos. So I'm telling you guys now, before tax season really jumps off, like, do not wait on learning all of this stuff right now. Okay? Yes, you can do taxes now. So what you'll essentially do is, someone will give you their tax information. You'll complete the whole entire return. You'll run the diagnostic, and we'll look at the return. We'll say, okay, this return is good to go, but we're not going to send it to the IRS today. What we'll do is we'll wait till they start accepting returns, which will be on the 27th night, on the 27th at night, and on the 28th in the morning. So between the 27th and the 28th is whenever they'll start processing those tax returns. Okay, so you can do people's taxes right now. Don't tell people that you cannot, because what they'll do is they'll end up allowing you to waste your time doing a quote for them, and they'll jump from tax office to tax office to tax office, because they know that the IRS is no longer accepting returns. Let them know that you're going to send their tax return out, and the IRS is going to take a look at it as soon as you file their tax return. Doesn't mean you're going to file it today, but you're going to file it as soon as you can, and then they're going to take a look at it. And once they do that, just a waiting time after that. So yeah, you can file taxes today, so don't have the mind frame that you have to wait, because you waiting, which means that your client is going to be waiting. And when your client is waiting, that means you're going to be waiting on them to commit to you, which is never a good thing in tax season, because everybody just goes to the person that gives them the most money. All right. Yeah. So that's it, guys. I really want to talk to you more about other things, but this has been long already. But tomorrow we're going to talk about how to get clients, how to manage clients. We're going to show you guys how to sign up for your payroll so you can get accepted via Cash App. It'll be very simple. You'll be getting accepted every single Friday. Have all your documents ready, turned in, and you'll get paid every single Friday. We'll show you guys an app that'll allow you to organize yourself so you can never forget tasks and know what you got to do. And I'll show you guys how to actually, we're going to have a marketing campaign going on where everybody's going to have access to phone lines. And I want to show you guys how we're going to be able to accept calls that are incoming, okay? So we'll start with that. I have more that I'll talk to you guys about tomorrow. But after that, man, you guys, this is all a breeze. You just go out there and you just talk to people. You put your name out there. You have a team now, so you guys can all run together and either go to, you know, for example, if you go to Walmart, you can talk to a manager at Walmart or the bank at Walmart. You can put a marketing advertisement at Walmart because they want people like us there, because the bank gets to cash checks of individuals who wants to cash their check for tax returns, okay? So that's it. Yeah, I don't want to go ahead and keep rambling because I'll do this all day. So yeah, if you have any questions, shoot me a message. We can always do a one-on-one until tax season actually starts. So this whole week, you have me all to yourself. I can promise you this. Once the 27th hits, I won't have any more time to hold your hand and to be at your beck and call, okay? Not only that, we're going to have 10 more employees that are going to be signing up with us this coming up week. So it'll be almost 30 of us in a whole entire group, and probably Steven's adding more. So it'll be 30 plus of us all moving together at once. So please do your best to be as organized and timely and considerate as you can, all right? One more chat. Can we actually do people's yet? Okay. Okay, where and when is the meetup tomorrow? So the meetup tomorrow is the same place it is today. Today is going to be webinar day. The next meetup we're going to have is on Saturday. That is going to be a training that you can actually attend. That's going to be for the new employees. It'll be everything that I've taught you guys so far smashed all into one day. And it'll be pretty much a 4-hour event each. So we'll be training for 8 hours straight. Yeah, so on Saturday, if you want to show up, man, and get more info with Fernando, you seem like you got everything down pat already, and you've been taking great notes. But if you want to, you know, come join us, we'll be at the office in Dallas, man, where we were last time. You know, come to the office if you want, hang out with us. We'll be training that whole entire day. After that, probably on that Tuesday, that following Tuesday, so next Tuesday coming up, I want us to take like group pictures and photos, give you guys some really professional photos. Steven's a great photographer. He can take you guys some great photos to show, you know, the internet or show on your social media profiles that you guys are professional. So you'll be able to come dress professional that day on Tuesday, and we'll be able to take team photos, and you'll be able to spread the knowledge that you have so that you can actually start creating an image of yourself on the internet. All right, my guys, my gals, like it's the last thing I want to leave you guys with is just don't take this time for granted, because it's 3 months, sometimes 2, and you're gonna the number one emotion that I felt after my first tax season was regret. Like the feeling that I felt was regret, because I took those 3 months for granted, and I hustled hard, but not as hard as I could have. And that money, it comes in an abundance, and it goes even faster. So all I can say, guys and gals, is just do everything you can for the next 3 months to maximize this opportunity, because it's going to come and it's going to go a year from now. So do what you can now to maximize your opportunity now, to make the most money you can, to build the best relationships that you can, to acquire the best knowledge and the skills that you can, so that even next year we'll have an even more powerful year. All right. So I'm going to leave you with that. So live well, live free, and think big, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.